Stop the cap.
Peace, family. Peace, peace. It's your brother King Cam, and welcome back to the Campaign TV show. I am your host, family, and let's go ahead and get this show started. So I need everybody that comes into the room. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do. I need everybody to let me know what city and state that you checking in from. Shout out to the YouTube family. I need you to hit that bell. I need you to like, and I need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. For the Facebook family, I need you again to let me know what city, what state you checking in from. Like, share, and get this out to as many people as possible. Let's go ahead and get into it, family. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this record by brother Ben X, and then we're gonna get right into the show tonight.
We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Little devils prayed for my doom, won't apologize for the boom. To answer your question, I'm rapping, I'm wrecking. Yeah, mixtape coming soon. You didn't expect me to fly, really don't know why. Got it by the most high.
I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, God made me a star.
Then he blessed me with a car.
That's a clean black vid.
Yeah, he making me a vet.
My brother tried to throw shade, we ain't even got dead. Hating cause I'm getting paid.
The teacher's got a brother set.
Gives me pain bigger than any hypocrite or envious believer that did not like me. I don't give a damn who don't like me. If Allah loves me, what do I care?
We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom,
They wasn't prepared for the boom.
we used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom,
They wasn't prepared for the boom.
boom, boom. They weren't prepared for the boom, boom, boom. They weren't prepared for the boom, boom, boom. They weren't prepared for the boom. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the
I just
boom.
have to tell him and keep it 100.
I pray to Allah.
I came out the junk. Know you my brother, no matter the money. Big back on the north and
They
they
know
know
about
my
me.
cause we was abandoned down in the slums, yeah. 12 years old with a gun, yeah. My mama wrecked it like a drag strip. She shot a bird at the judge, yeah. Who are you to judge, yeah? I was on painkillers, feeling nauseous. Slave blood in my arms, yeah. I got the rotor guard in my heart, yeah. Hitting switches in the mothership, I turn the wheel into a jumbotron, yeah. Maliki on Dean, when I get it in, I can't do no wrong, yeah. I bow my head and say my grace before I take a breath and then I get it in, yeah. From sardines in a tin, yeah. To putting reels on a beach, yeah. Cracking atoms in the laboratory, I'm a scientist with a big head.
Angel of God.
Took a little bit of time to
Open up my wings, yeah.
We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the
Yeah, family, that's that boom by brother Ben X. So, shout out to brother Ben X for the fire track, family. That's for sure. That's for sure. That is for sure. Shout out to Canada that's in the building. H-Town in the building. Chicago that's in the building with us tonight, man. Appreciate everybody. Georgia that's tapping in. We appreciate you, family. We certainly appreciate you. Greetings, 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 greetings. It's good to be back, though. It's good to be back on the podcast, family. We're not gonna be long tonight. I know it's already late, but I wanted to tap in with you all just to give y'all an update on what's been going on. We've been really working hard, pushing our social media. And when I say that, you know, teaching people how to grow their brands on social media and things of that nature. So we've been hitting a master class the last week and a half. You know, we've been doing that around the same time that we've been doing the podcast. But like I said, I text y'all last week about getting some guests. We about to get the podcast back ramped up again. We got some guests that's gonna be coming to check us out. We got Dr. Wesley who's gonna be coming. We got Minister Nuri Muhammad who's gonna be coming. We got some entrepreneurs that's gonna be coming to sit down with us and to give us some real good game. We got to discuss Young Dolph. Man, that's going to be a powerful interview that we do. Shout out to the Bean Pies and Bow Ties podcast as well with myself, Brother Ben X, and Brother Malcolm Flex. Man, we got a powerful episode lined up for that as well, family. So I need everybody to tap in. And if you see across the bottom, it's telling you to actually text the word podcast to 404-737-1030. If you text that over to that number, family, then you become a part of the community and you can stay involved and up to date to what we got going on. All right. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Carla White. Wa alaikum salam. So just want to drop those few announcements out there, fam. So tonight, very briefly, we're just going to discuss what's been going on, with this country of ours. Okay. We're gonna discuss a little bit about what's been going on with this country of ours, because I think it's very important that we highlight some of the stuff that's been happening recently. The president has come out and made a speech addressing the rising gas prices. He addressed the rising gas prices as well as inflation. So I want to pull up this article where the president addresses the inflation and the gas pricing and things of that nature, and then we're gonna go from there, because it's been a lot of talk about his decision to release the oil today, tap into the oil reserves, as if that was supposed to fix the rising gas prices. Okay. So let's see. Let me go ahead and pull that up, right? And I want y'all to see what I'm talking about here. Okay. All right. So I'm about to share my screen. Y'all know how we do. We're going to share the screen. And then we're going to read together, guys. Okay? All right, so look at this. Look at this. So Biden announces release of oil reserves, but says gas prices will not drop overnight. So you got to understand that most black people, what's going on, sister? Okay, sister Love, I didn't know that was you. I didn't know that was you. Okay. You came in under the backup page today. I didn't know that was you, though. All right, so let me see. What's up with this? CNN always got these goofy ads in the way. Get out the way. Yeah, stop seeing this ad, bro. All right. Okay. So, President Joe Biden on Tuesday announced the release of emergency oil reserves to combat high energy prices ahead of the busy holiday travel season, but it will be weeks before the barrels hit the market. The Department of Energy will release 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Jelly, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, according to the White House, the largest release from the U.S. Reserve in U.S. history, Biden said. Now, this is funny because as they're analyzing this,
your business to the power of Verizon 5G, and your employees can get
as they're analyzing this on CNN, right? What happens is that this quote unquote largest reserve or largest release ever in U.S. history of the oil reserves really amounts to about 3 days worth of oil. Now on CNN, the pundit did the math on how much $50 million would be, and it really didn't amount to much of anything. So you have to pay attention, family, to the words that they're using to try to make it sound like they're doing a lot of work. So they're telling you, they're gaslighting you to believe that $50 million is the largest release of petroleum reserve ever in United States history, which may be true because we have not been in a situation economically like this ever in our country's history. Okay? So I want us to really understand what's really happening right now, okay? We haven't been in this particular place in our country's history, not recently anyway. So it says that Biden on Tuesday noted that the administration's actions will not solve the problem of high gas prices overnight. He admitted that. He said it's not going to. Why is it hard to see? Somebody said I can't read. I can't reach it. Hold on, y'all. Okay, that's a little bit better for y'all to see it. Okay, so it says the Department of Energy will release 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, according to the White House, the largest release from the reserve in U.S. history. Biden said. Biden on Tuesday noted that the administration's actions will not solve the problem of high gas prices overnight. It will take time, but before long, you should see the price of gas drop where you will fill your tank, he said during his remarks. And in the longer term, we will reduce our reliance on oil as we shift to clean energy. So a lot of people was asking, is this some type of political ploy? Is this some type of political ploy that Biden is using to really play on the emotions of the American people? Because you got to think, right now, gas prices are higher than they ever were. Actually up 61% than what they were a year ago. A year ago, last year, gas prices were down 61% from where they are today. That's a stat that was given out today. And I want to read another article that's highlighting the inflation and what's going on. All of this stuff is happening during the Biden administration now. All of this stuff is happening during the Biden administration now. Somebody said free Trump. Now, we're not Trump supporters here on the Campaign TV show, but what I can say is that things were not as hefty pocket-wise when Donald Trump was the president. I do have to say that. And we're going to go over some numbers, but I mean, that's just the actual facts of the situation. The pockets are being murdered right now. And we got to run down all of the different things that have happened since this administration has taken power. They have come into power, utilized the black vote, rode in on the black vote, particularly the black women, the vote of the black women. So Kamala Harris was heavily responsible for that, right? You get this administration in office, but look at this. Look how they handled Afghanistan. They get out of Afghanistan because they get ran out by the Taliban, but they leave American soldiers there. Okay? They force us and mandate this shot that has people and millions of people that lost their jobs. They're still protesting to this day. They're protesting in New York City to this day about this mandate. So they're forcing this jab on the people. Now you have inflation that's up 6.2%, I believe. You have inflation that's up 6.2%. You got gas prices through the roof. You have the cost of living through the roof. You have food prices through the roof. Yeah, their shelves in the stores are stocked, but the price of milk is up. The price of meat is up. The price of butter is up. The price of cereal is up. So what are the people supposed to do? Those who are already on the poverty line, below the poverty line, what are they supposed to do? And if memory serves me right, I'm listening to the news earlier, and one of the things they highlighted was the fact that this bill that they passed, not the Build Back America bill, but there was another one that included funding that the United States government did not have. This is why you're seeing such a spike in inflation, because of what they're doing with the debt they've put the country deeper in debt. So when you increase the deficit, now inflation rises up. When you increase the deficit, now inflation rises up. So let me pull up this other article that I was reading earlier about inflation. This is y'all president. Just want y'all to know. Y'all done went out there. Y'all that got on me about voting and not voting and all that. Now you got us up in here paying all these high gas prices. So now we got beef. I got beef with all the Biden supporters. Just telling you like it is. All right? So look. This thing right here. I don't know why that thing looking. All right, so look. This says Biden faces political heat as prices surge. The Energy Department forecasts that heating bills will be up to 54% higher this winter than last as a result of higher energy prices and somewhat lower temperatures. Stubbornly high inflation is turning into a liability for the president and Democrats as they head into midterm elections next year after losing this month's Virginia gubernatorial election. Inflation hurts Americans' pocketbooks, and reversing this trend is a top priority for me, Biden said in a statement Wednesday. I want to reemphasize my commitment to the independence of the Federal Reserve to monitor inflation and take steps necessary to combat it. Well, let me stop you, President Biden, because you mentioned the fact that the independence, you want to reemphasize your commitment to the independence of the Federal Reserve. But the Federal Reserve is not a bank that is for the people. The Federal Reserve is a private-owned bank. The names of those who own the Federal Reserve, you haven't released to the public, but those who can study and do a little research understand that the Federal Reserve is a privately owned bank. So how now are you re-emphasizing your commitment to the independence of the Federal Reserve to monitor inflation? How do we know they're not the ones who are driving the inflation? I mean, I'm just asking questions. We just asking questions. And he says, and take steps necessary to combat inflation. Well, let's read a little bit further. It says on Tuesday, Biden spoke with the CEOs of Walmart, Target, FedEx, UPS to discuss steps that can be taken to strengthen supply chains and lower prices. Polls show that less than 40% of Americans now approve of Biden's handling of the economy, while 54% disapprove. That's a heavy indictment against the president of the United States. It says that 40% of Americans approve, 54% disapprove. That means over half of the country disapprove what the president has been doing concerning the economy, concerning the money. Now, if you messing up the money, Biden, you're going to have a problem on your hands with the people. You already got yourself in a spot with your Afghanistan stunt, leaving the troops over there. Then you got yourself in a bigger spot with this mandate. Now you just digging yourself a ditch with the economy. He's got to be the worst president ever in history. The administration and the Federal Reserve have argued that rising prices are largely a result of the pandemic. We could discuss that. And should cool off on their own as health outlook improves. Well, they also are saying that COVID-19 hospitalization cases are rising. They're rising. So when they talk about health outlook improving, we're trying to figure out where. Where is it improving? Prices of cars are going up. It says, but the Fed is facing growing scrutiny over its views. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers has strongly disagreed and warned that inflation is in danger of spiraling out of control. What did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan tell us? What did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad tell us? That America is falling. Where's the book? Get the book. It's way across the way. I'm not gonna get up and get it. But it's falling, family. The economy's going down the drain. It says Daly, who serves on the central bank's policy setting committee, says the Fed is monitoring inflation closely. She and her colleagues on the committee are being cautious not to raise interest rates too quickly. Not to raise interest rates too quickly. If we react to something that's related to a factor we hope will go away, we hope the virus gets behind us, then we've overreacted, Daly says. And that's not free. Raising interest rates is the Fed's traditional tool to combat inflation, but it's also likely to slow job growth at a time when millions of Americans are still out of work. Well, thanks to the president, millions of Americans are out of work because he deputized private businesses, the private sector, to mandate the jabs, and those who refuse to take the jab will lose their job. So whose fault is that, Fed? Whose fault is that, Fed? When millions of Americans are out of work who didn't need to be out of work. Let me go get the book. Now hold on right quick. I'll be right back. Let me go get the book. The Fall of America by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. See, in this book, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad highlights America and her fall. And I'm about to pull something out of here for y'all. All right. Do. Look, check this out. You can't stop the rain. Look. That's that BMF. All right, look. So look. Check this out right here. The day of America's downfall, Allah manifests the fall of America. He desires to make America fall as a warning to her brothers in Europe. White Americans and Germans, Allah has taught me, are the most wicked of the white race. The wicked deeds that have been performed and are still being performed by white Americans upon the so-called Negroes, as we were called at that time, their slaves, are the worst in the annals of history. So when you look at America and why she's suffering, why she can't get through the pandemic, why they're coming out with a quote-unquote COVID-19 pill that's supposed to help alleviate symptoms of the virus, why they have trepidation and backtracking that pill now, why are the hospitalizations rising among those who have been vaccinated, huh? Why? Because America's under divine judgment. This is why they can't get from up underneath the pandemic. Now they're dealing with this economic crisis. They have been clever enough in their wickedness to make the so-called Negroes, as we were called back then, slaves love them, though they are their open enemies and murderers. Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom be praised forever, now judges the American whites and is causing America's fall and total destruction. Egypt under Pharaoh is an example, fulfilling the signs and other prophecies of the doom of this people as foretold by the prophets from Noah to Jesus. Moses and Jesus are the most outstanding prophets in the history of the Caucasian race for the past 4,000 years. There are several other contemporaries, but Moses and Jesus are the major prophets of the white race's history. The whole of the civilized world today, as prophesied in Isaiah, is against the white race of America. Allah hates the wicked American whites and threatens to remove them from the face of the earth. So look, check this out. So now when you read about President Biden releasing and tapping into the oil reserves earlier, it was supposed to be a contract. It was supposed to be an agreement with other countries. But when you look at how much the UK gave up, it was about $1 million worth of reserve that the UK gave up. And the other countries that include China and that include Saudi Arabia, I believe, don't even have a number comparable that would even chart on the chart. That's how less that they gave, if they gave any. So America's by herself while she's falling right now. And she's looking for help from other countries, and they're not trying to help America. And why would they? So it says, since white Americans and the white race in general have deceived the entire world of black people and their brethren, brown, red, and yellow, Allah is now causing these people to wake up and see the white race as it really is, the created enemy of the darker people. This is not hate speech. It's just actual facts. Okay? As we see today, there is a general awakening of the darker people into the knowledge of self and the knowledge of their age-old 6,000 years enemies all over the planet, all over the earth. The American white race cannot sincerely give the so-called Negroes their slaves a square deal. She only desires to deceive them. So she's falling right now. She's falling. And based on this article, it's letting you know that she's falling economically. There are millions of Americans with no jobs. Look at this. It says, let me scroll up. There we go. It says raising interest rates is the Fed's traditional tool to combat inflation, but it's also likely to slow job growth at a time when millions of Americans are still out of work. They don't have no jobs. Did you hear me? They don't have no jobs, family, to be able to sustain the American people, let alone the 40 to 50 million black people here. They don't have no jobs. So if they don't have no jobs for their own people, they definitely don't have no jobs for you. Said many have just walked off. Absolutely. Many have walked off. Many were fired because of the quote unquote mandates. And now you trying to raise wages, right? They're trying to raise a minimum wage to $15 or raise the minimum wage to $15. They're trying to offer more for different jobs, trying to hire people. But now because of the cost of living, it wipes away the raise. So you're really not raising me anything. I'm really not getting an advantage. I'm just working still for the same amount of money. See? When they wanted to improve, they would just stop fabricating the number of cases. See? My man getting into the 140 on them, boy. Go ahead and about to break out them lessons. See, so you gotta understand this is the pulse of America right now. See? Is this your king? Is this your king for real? Is this your king? I mean, seriously, we gotta really think about what's happening. We gotta really think about what's happening because Biden don't have it. Biden ain't got it. Okay? I want y'all to check this out. Look at the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was so wise. He said in chapter 14 on page 59, he says, every nation has a term. And the Holy Quran says the same thing. Surah 7 verse 34. It says, and every nation has a term, so when its term comes, they cannot remain behind the least while, nor can they precede it. See? Every nation has a term. So when its term comes, when it's time for it to be over with, they cannot remain behind the least while, nor can they precede it. They cannot remain behind or precede their limit. So it says there was a term for the people of Noah, Lot, and Moses. This also holds true in the life and death of individuals. All is under the control of Almighty Allah, especially when a divine beginning and ending has been appointed for the accomplishment of a certain work that must be done by the life of the peoples. The above chapter and verse of the Holy Quran is a warning to the present nation, America, whose term is now coming to an end. If we know what is said to us and what is written by the prophets for us to read, study, and ponder over, and if we understand, we should not fall victims to misunderstanding and disbelief. The trouble with the black man in America is that he is heedless of the truth. For he was reared by slave foster parents who were his enemy. They caused him to become heedless. It was the intention of the enemy to make the black man an enemy to the truth, as he himself was and is. This the enemy was successful in doing for the Aboriginal black man in America is referred to as being blind, deaf, dumb, and in many instances as dead. So this is the language that is used in scripture to describe the people who are blind, deaf, dumb, and considered dead. So when it says that God will raise one and he will be the first begotten of the dead, he's talking about he's going to raise one from a people who are considered dead, a people who are in bondage under a pharaoh, such as Egypt and Pharaoh in the scripture. So is President Biden and America today. And this is why you see America falling. Why? Because as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us, every nation has a term. And if we read the scripture in the book of Revelation, it's talking about the ending of a world. A nation is falling. A world is falling. One world is closing out and another world has to be brought in. A righteous world has to be brought in. Huh? So we got to pay attention to the signs of the time. So I wanted to highlight that. See? It says this the enemy was successful in doing for the Aboriginal black man in America is referred to as being blind, deaf, and dumb, and in many instances as dead. This is the work of the enemy. Therefore, it took one who is our friend and not our enemy to do us and restore us to life mentally. The children of the fathers, slave masters, who took our life mental, are working just as faithfully as their fathers did. However, since 100 years has elapsed from the time of their slave fathers, the children are wiser and educated more in methods to keep the Aboriginal black man in America blind, deaf, and dumb. And this is why you have to open up your ears to the truth. And most of us are inclined to that truth. This is why you see most of us now are tapping into those grassroots media network. Shout out to Brother Boyce Watkins, and shout out to the contributor over there on Fly Nubian Queen, Sister Vicky Dilla. Shout out to Brother Tyreek Nasheed. Shout out to Brother Ben X. Shout out to Brother Rizza Islam. Shout out to everybody who has a platform and speaking truth. Because our people are inclined to that truth. And when you hear that truth, you know that's the truth. And then you compare it with the falsehood that you have been fed in these education institutions, what you've been fed on these mainstream media lines, and you know that they've been lying. You know that they've been lying. You know they have been selling you a pipe dream. You know they have been deceiving you, and when you hear that truth, you know what time it is, and you begin to move accordingly. So now everybody's B1. We got to be B1 first. That has to be the code. We got to be black first, okay? And we have to make sure those who are coming up among us who are leadership, we have to protect them and understand that they're not perfect, but we have to protect them. We cannot have another Nipsey Hussle. We cannot have another Young Dolph. We cannot have another Tupac Shakur. We cannot have no more slaying of the great young giants. Because we're coming into too much knowledge now, too much wisdom now. The truth, we hearing the truth now. Once you have heard it, is now you are responsible for what you know. Once you hear the truth and know the truth, you are responsible for what you know. And looking at the state of America, looking at the state of affairs, family, America is about done with. It's about over. That's right. We've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, run amok, led astray by the arch deceiver. And America's on her way out. America is on her way out, family. So I said we wasn't going to be long tonight. Camera battery done died on me. But I wanted to just get back out and highlight some of those facts for us. Let me see if I can pull up this inflation rate. I think that's important for us to know, because I believe inflation is what, up 62, is up 6.2%. Inflation is up 6.2%. Let me see. Let me get the numbers. Let's get the numbers on this inflation. Then I'm gonna let you go. Okay, it says it right here. U.S. consumer prices spiked 6.2% in the past year. Highest inflation rate since 1990. Good God Almighty. Look at the God. Look at the God. See? I'm gonna share that so y'all can see it, so y'all don't think I'm making this up. It says U.S. consumer prices spiked 6.2% in past year. You able to see that? You able to see that? Highest inflation rate since 1990. Prices for U.S. consumers jumped 6.2% in October compared with the year earlier as surging costs for food, gas, and housing left Americans grappling with the highest inflation rate since 1990. There you go. There you have it, family. There you have it. This is coming from, and in the process of the administration of your president. Remember, they wanted you to get Donald Trump out of the White House. Why was that? Why was that? Annual inflation hits 30-year high. Woo! This is rough stuff. I just want to know, all of those who voted for Biden, what is your thoughts right now? What is going through your mind right now? Because you was on the campaign trail hard for him last November. Last October, you was on it. Let's see. But check this out. Want us to really understand what's going on, because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that America was falling. He told us America was falling.
Say it's all right. Say it's all right. It's all right. Have a good time, 'cause it's all right. Now listen to the beat. Kind of pat your feet. It's all right. Have a good time, 'cause it's all right. Oh, it's all right.
Consumer prices grew far faster than expected in October, according to data released Wednesday by the Labor Department. The Consumer Price Index, which tracks inflation for a range of staple goods and services, rose 0.9% last month and 6.2% in the 12-month period ending in October. Analysts broadly expected the CPI to rise by 0.5% last month, up from a gain of 0.4% in August and 5.8% over the past year. The sharp jump in the inflation rate is a dismal sign for President Biden and Democrats as they face growing pressure over rising prices.
Well, you heard it there, family. You heard it there. This is a 30-year high.
It's a multi-purpose vehicle, meaning it has multiple ways to teach a short lesson in humility.
Yeah, this is a 30-year high. And we watched that video from The Hill. Annual inflation hits 30-year high. Consumer prices grew far faster than expected in October, according to data released Wednesday by the Labor Department. It says the Consumer Price Index, which tracks inflation for a range of staple goods and services, rose 0.9% last month and 6.2% in the 12-month period. Now, what they're going to say is, like they mentioned here, that a lot of it is happening because of the coronavirus pandemic. But what they're not talking about is the amount of funding that it took to pass some of these bills that also hit the deficit extremely hard. And you have Republicans and conservatives that are now saying you got to get out of debt. You cannot continue to put the country in debt. And for some odd reason, the liberals don't understand that. You have to get out of debt. So I don't know how you coming up to the table serving up bills and quote unquote relief plans when you don't have no money. You in debt. If I owe you, I don't have no extra until I pay off what I owe you. That's the mathematics behind debt. That's just the mathematics behind it. But guess what? The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us America was falling. And this is what's happening. It's Allah's will. It's been predicted, absolutely. It's been written. It ain't even been predicted. It's been written. It's been written. It's been predicted. And we walking into it right now, family. So we need to make sure that we stocking up on our food, our canned goods, our Navy beans. We need to learn how to can. We need to make sure we got our survival kits. We got all of our medication to help us stay COVID-19 free. So that's your ivermectin. That's your Navy bean soup, your raw milk, your zinc, your vitamin D, your vitamin C. You need to have all of that stored up in your house. Okay? That's right. They're going to wish they would have just went ahead and paid the reparations and did right by the black man and woman in America. And you would have all this judgment up off you because we got the God backing us. And that's what they fail to realize. So they're going to continue to do what they do. And the God going to continue to squeeze them until they say uncle. And if they don't say uncle, then just travel the land and see what happened to the nations that came before you. Look at the Sodom and Gomorrah where not even a blade of grass grows there. Go check out where Babylon, ancient Babylon used to be. See? Just go. God got the evidence to bear witness to what he going to do to America if she don't act right. So, family, we got to make sure that we keep our ears to the ground and make sure that we keep them turned up for truth and that we are tuning in each and every Sunday to the national webcast at www.noi.org so you can continue to feed on that truth. And if you're able to get to your local mosque, get to your local mosque because as of November 15th, all of the mosques in every local city, in every city are open to receive guests. So if you want to get out and mingle with the believers and touch and speak to the believers, then go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that, family. But this is the time. Because America's on its way out. And that's a fact. So I appreciate y'all for listening, family. I appreciate y'all for tuning in for the short amount of time. We're going to be back another time this week to go ahead and chop it up. We got a dope episode. We actually had Dr. Wesley scheduled to come this week. But because of some recent news, we're going to bring him the following week. To have a sit down and discussion with us about the Young Dolph situation, hip hop, and how we can stop the killing in the youth in the black community, family. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you text the word podcast to 404-737-1030. Make sure you join the community. If you would like to donate, you can donate via Cash App. You can donate via Cash App at $Campaign TV Show. You can donate via Cash App at Campaign TV Show, family, if you would like to donate. But, man, we want you to be a part of the community. Make sure you get over there at 404-737-1030. We love to have you. Make sure you text the word podcast so that you can get on that list. Man, we got this crazy Black Friday sale that's coming up as well, so make sure you stay tuned to that. Any and everybody that's on my social media list will be receiving a special discount on the master classes that we just did the past week and a half. And we got another masterclass that's coming up that's happening tomorrow as well. So make sure you stay tuned. All right, family. So we just going to go ahead and ride out. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the video. Y'all know on the outro that I like to play, family, as we go ahead and get out of here, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all later on this week. Peace and blessings.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me. I came up, I'm elevated. Elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big. You feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair. You had the advantage. We wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us to think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I'm chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you